Euro 2024 is just around the corner, less than a month away. It's going to be an exciting tournament. We've got a good chance, we've got a good group of players. Can we get the job done this time round? We'll have to wait and see. Last time it was heartbreaking, the final. For this Euros, can we win it? Now, the squad announcement is tomorrow, a 26-man squad. I'm looking forward to seeing who Southgate has going on the plane, but I thought it would be interesting to see what would happen if I was manager. Who would I be taking? Who do I think deserves to go? So there's a few categories here. We've got guaranteed starter. Those are the players that me and Southgate will agree will start every game, and pretty much every England fan will say the same. 100% on the plane. Those are going to be the ones that I think me and Southgate will have on the plane. Not necessarily to start, but they will be on that plane. Should make the squad is the interesting one. These are the players that I think will make the squad, but Southgate might not be taking them. I'm not 100% sure Southgate will have them, so they'll be in should make the squad because I believe they will, but Southgate, I'm not sure he will. And then just misses out. There'll be a few players in there, but most of them will be too early or no chance. So let's get into this. It's going to be interesting to see what we come up with. And let me know down in the comments who you think will be in the squad, who should be in the squad, and make sure to like and subscribe. So let's get into it. Starting off, Cameron Archer. You could argue too early, maybe after Kane's not in the picture, things like that. But for me, no chance. We'll skip over Trent at the moment. Ross Barkley, again, it's not too early because he's not like a wonder kid or anything. But I don't think he's got a chance. Bellingham, guaranteed starter. The guy has to play. He is such a brilliant player. So yeah, guaranteed starter. Jared Bowen, I think, personally, he should 100% be on the plane. I think that Southgate will think the same as well. He's played a few games for England, did a good job. Jared Branthwaite, for me, should make the squad. He would 100% be on the plane for me, but I'm not sure if Southgate will pick him because he hasn't featured, or maybe there was the one game that he featured in a bit, I can't remember, but I'm not confident Southgate will take him, but I would. So he should make the squad. Dan Burn, I don't think he's got a chance either, to be honest. Jack Butland, this is the interesting one. This is the goalkeeper that some people will have, some won't. I'd say just misses out because I kind of think he's the fourth choice goalkeeper. Bino Gittins is too early, but I think in years to come he will make this squad. Levi Colwill, he will be in some people's teams. For me, he just misses out. Eric Dyer, we'll skip past Chilwell for the moment. Again, another fullback, but Eric Dyer, even though he's gone to Bayern and he's played a lot of matches over there, I don't think he's got a chance. Lewis Dunk, I think Southgate will take, but for me, I wouldn't. I think he'd just miss out because Brighton have been pretty poor defensively this season. Marcus Edwards, another one. Too early, but could be a little bit older than Bino Gittins, but could be in that sort of category where, as wingers, they break out 3-4 years. On to, I can only see half a face, but Harvey Elliott, I think it's too early for him. I know he's got young player of the season for Liverpool. I don't think he's close to being in it though. He's been down in the younger categories. He hasn't featured for the senior squad, and I don't think he will. Ebere Eze, for me, should make the squad, but Southgate, I really don't think will take him. The form Palace have been in has been brilliant, but the form he himself has been in has been terrific. When you keep him fit, when he's with other players that are talented, he is a brilliant player, and I think he should make the squad. Not necessarily starting, but in that 26, for me, his name has to be in there. And another man who has to be in there as a starter is Phil Foden. I know for England he's been a bit hit or miss, but I think that's more to do with Southgate not playing him in the correct way. Phil Foden is just one player of the season, and Man City have just won the league. He's helped them massively. He is a brilliant player, and on form he is probably the best England player, so he has to be a starter. Conor Gallagher, I think 100% on the plane, and I know that might be a bit of a controversial one because some people might think he shouldn't be going. I think Southgate will take him. For me, he should make the squad, but because I think Southgate will have him 100% on the plane, we both agree that he'll be on the plane, so I'll have him there. Gibbs White, I think he just misses out. I think he's had another good season for Forest, racked up double figures for assists, so he's a creative player. And yeah, I think maybe he'll be in too early, to be fair, similar to Harvey Elliott, an attacking midfielder that has the quality, but there's just a few names ahead of him at the moment. But again, the next Euro squad, I think there's a high chance Elliott and Gibbs White will be involved. Now, we'll go to Joe Gomez. Versatile, which I think is a big part of it. And I think with us not having a massive array of left backs, I do think that Joe Gomez should make the squad. He's not a standout in any position, but we haven't got many good left backs at all. Centre back, he can cover right back. He's just one of those players that you love to have in the squad just in case you need to fill a gap. There's always going to be a versatile defender in there, or maybe two, and I think he is one of them. Anthony Gordon for me, 100% on the plane. As far as English wingers have gone, not really counting Foden as a winger because he's not out and out. He can play across all the positions beyond the striker. So out and out wingers, I think Anthony Gordon's probably had the best season. Obviously Bowen's been very good as well, but yeah, Anthony Gordon, very good season, very impressed, and I think he'll 100% be on the plane. Jack Grealish, this is where maybe the controversy creeps in. I don't think he's going to go. I'd take him. I think he should make the squad, but I don't know. That there's quite a few good wingers, and I've just got the feeling with him not really in favour at City. He's been injured a lot this season, and it's really punished his footballing chances and his chances to carry on improving. So I don't think Grealish will make it. So I've got him just missing out. Gray, too early. I mean, he should really be in no chance because it's so early. But again, from what I've seen from him at Leeds this season, he has had a fantastic season and he could be in the midfield of England in a few years. Moving on to Mark Guehi, pronunciation is poor, but I think he should make the squad. Palace, have been very good recently. I think he really, behind Stones and Maguire, I think he's probably the most trusted defender by Southgate, centre-back by Southgate. Just always seems to be in and around the squad, always gets chances ahead of others. I think he deserves them, and I think he will go. So yeah, I'll move him up to 100% on the plane. He's had some injury issues, yeah. Should make the squad. I think we will both have him, but yeah. Jordan Henderson, this is one. I'm going to put him in just misses out. For me, he'd have no chance. And it is for me, yeah, sorry. I will go no chance. I think Southgate may pick him, but I wouldn't have him. We'll go on to Hinshelwood. I haven't seen much of him this season. Maybe it's too early, but I'll put him in no chance. Sam Johnson has been injured, and actually his counterpart at Crystal Palace has had a very good end to the season. So that reason means Sam Johnson, I will say no chance too. We'll move on to Curtis Jones. I've always had him a little bit behind Harvey Elliott. Not always, but the last couple of seasons. So if I'm putting Harvey Elliott two chance, I think too early. Sorry, I'll put Curtis Jones in no chance. I just don't really see it at the moment. Harvey Elliott's a bit more attacking. There's a role for him. Curtis Jones, I don't really know where he's best. He can kind of play anywhere in midfield, but I don't think he's particularly excels in any position at the moment. He's still got time to adapt to a specific position in his game, make a position at Liverpool his own or maybe elsewhere at a different club, but at the moment he doesn't stand out for any position, so no chance for me. We'll leave Reece James as well. We'll leave a few fullbacks because I think that's an interesting position. Harry Kane, no, obviously. He's a guaranteed starter. He will play every game of this tournament as long as he's not injured or suspended. And we don't really have any other standout options. I know Ollie Watkins has had a brilliant season, but he just doesn't offer what Harry Kane offers you. Although there's not many strikers in world football that do. There's probably 3, maybe. So Harry Kane has to start every game, as do Foden and Bellingham. Ezri Konsa, interesting one because he can fill in at fullback. He has done that a lot for Villa this season. Also a centre-back. I think I'm torn because there's quite a few good centre-backs. We'll put him in should make the squad for now. Some of these centre-backs might change around. Max Kilman. Wolves were doing well, but they've dropped off recently. I think it's too early. Or is it? No, I think he's a no chance. Maybe in the future, but yeah, for this one, no chance. Rico Lewis, too early. Brilliant talent. And next Euros, maybe even the World Cup, I think he'll be in there. But he hasn't nailed down a position at club level yet for City. I think he'll do it in the future, very near future. Livramento, I think he's been very good at parts this season, but I don't think he's got a chance. No, sorry. Too early. Of course, too early. Similar to Rico Lewis, they'll be there or thereabouts. You know, when Walker goes out of the team, James and Trent will probably be around for a while, but Walker and Trippier will be going. Livramento and Lewis kind of step into those roles automatically. I don't see a chance for Longstaff. Maddison is an interesting one. I think he should make the squad, even though Spurs have been not great recently. He hasn't particularly excelled after that great spell at the start of the season. But since the injury, it seems to have set him back. I still think he should make the squad, but I think there's a chance, like Grealish, he may miss out. Maguire, 100% on the plane, and I know a lot of people say, what are you doing? Maguire doesn't deserve it. He doesn't play well at club level. He doesn't normally play. Obviously, he has recently because of injuries, but it's that never put a foot wrong for England. And I know the form matters, but centre back is a position that, other than John Stones and obviously Maguire, we've got no one of experience in that position. They're all young players who haven't really featured for England ever. It's a handful of appearances. So Maguire has to go even if he's not starting, just so that we've got that player to step in. Because if we didn't take Maguire and then we had to use a third choice or a fourth choice centre-back, you don't want to. You'd rather have Maguire. So for me, he has to go. We'll leave Mainu because it's interesting. Ben Mee, I don't think he's got a chance. Solly March, he's been injured a lot of the season, so again, no chance. Same as Mings. Lewis Miley, I don't think he's got a chance. Again, maybe in the future, but I think the players in too early are maybe a bit closer to featuring. I don't think Miley would be near in the next World Cup, whereas quite a few of these players will. Yeah. Carlton Morris had a very good season for Luton, but he hasn't been in the picture at all. I don't think he's got a chance. Mason Mount is Southgate's son. No, I don't think Mount has a chance just based on not really featuring for the season. I think a lot of these players are in here just because they are options, but a lot of these players I would have actually cut out of this, to be fair, because not many of them have ever really featured for England or are even talked about being close. So yeah, I don't think a lot of them will be there. Nketiah doesn't have a chance. He's the third choice striker at his team, behind two kind of centre forward attacking, more false nine players. He's an out and out striker and he can't get in. He's not going to go. Cole Palmer, 100% on the plane. Yes, he was Young Player of the Year. Yes, he was brilliant for Chelsea. But I just think if you're looking at the three behind Kane, the obvious three are Bellingham, Foden and Saka, which means that whilst Cole Palmer would be the next choice, and maybe he'll be attacking mid and they'll drop Bellingham back a bit, but I think Palmer isn't guaranteed to start, but he has to be on that plane after the season he's had. Calvin Phillips, never in a million years. He was brilliant at the last Euros, but it just has not went well for him these last few years. Since moving to City, really, he's struggled. He doesn't go for me and probably for everyone. Pickford, he's a guaranteed starter. He's England's number one. A lot of people criticised him at club level, but he's backed it up this season. He has had a very, very good season. And, you know, he was second overall, I'm pretty sure, for clean sheets behind David Raya. So, yeah, he has to be going for me. Where were we? Nick Pope. I've already got one goalkeeper going, which is Pickford. So we'll look at Pope, Ramsdale. Now, I think Ramsdale will be in the squad. I know he hasn't really played, but he's at Arsenal and he had a very good season last season, and that quality will still be there. He plays more football that the England coaching staff want. Pope has always been criticised for, you know, he's a very good shot stopper, but he can't distribute, he can't really play out from the back. And I think that harms his chances. So I think Pope just misses out and Ramsdale will go. Kwanzaa, I don't think, too early. He could be there in a few years, especially with our centre-back options not being brilliant. But yeah, don't think he will yet. Ramsey, same category. He's been injured a lot this season, so he doesn't have a chance. But again, in a few years, he could be there. We'll leave Rashford because I think it's another controversial one, like Grealish. No, I'm just going to put him in just misses out for now. I'm going to put him next to Grealish and I'm going to count how many I've got because I think both of them could go. I think at least one will. But for me, I'm not sure either of them would. Grealish hasn't really played all season and people have got ahead of him in that position. Rashford has played, but he's just been pretty awful. So, yeah, both of those don't go for me. A few here. Rice, guaranteed starter. Saka, guaranteed starter. These Arsenal boys, they have to play. They will play. You know, there's not much to talk about with them. They are nailed on for their positions. Luke Shaw, if he's fit, he'll be on the plane. And we don't have any left back options. I don't know what his fitness is like at the moment. I'm going to put him in, he should make the squad. But that's purely down to the fact that our left back options are very, very poor. I think there's a few players in this list as well that I have that aren't in the list. So we will leave a few gaps for some players to talk about. We'll look at Solanke next. And we'll look at Ollie Watkins. So those are kind of the three strikers you'd expect. Callum Wilson I don't think has a chance just because he hasn't played much this season, injured a lot. But Solanke and Watkins, and Tony. Now, I think Solanke's least likely. So I don't think he has a chance, even though he's had a better season than Tony. I really, just because he hasn't been called up before, I don't think he'll be there. I will put him in just misses out though, because I think it's harsh that he's probably not going to be considered. I also think Tony's going to just miss out, and I think we're going to take 2 strikers. Watkins will go after the season he's had, and yeah, I mean, Watkins was the top assister this season, which is quite strange for a striker, but brilliant goal tally, most assists in the league. He has to go, he really does. And a few months ago, it had changed. I was taking Tony and Watkins, but for me, Tony was ahead just because he's the most like-for-like option for Kane. But I think that slipped down because he hasn't been doing too much recently. Chris Smalling doesn't have a chance. Raheem Sterling, I don't think he has a chance, but he's one of these, an experienced player who does well for England, but I think he misses out because there's a lot of good wingers, I think, here. Stones, guaranteed start. He's the defender that has to start. He's the only one that's nailed on for a place. James Tarkowski, I think he'll just miss out. Everton have been good defensively this season, and that's shown by Pickford being second in clean sheets. Branthwaite and Tarkowski have been good together. I do see Branthwaite going and Tarkowski just missing out, but I'm not sure I'd be too upset if both of them went, to be honest. Tomori, another centre-back, I think he'll make the squad, but he's never seemed to be Southgate's favourite. He never really gets a chance to feature, despite having some good times over in Milan. I think he should make the squad, though. James Trafford, I'd have said too early at the start of the season, but he's had a very poor season for Burnley, and since he got dropped, Burnley have been very good. It makes me think if Trafford wasn't playing and Burnley were starting Muric instead, I think Burnley would have survived, to be honest. I think they just took a risk on a very young goalkeeper too soon in his career, and it really hurt them. They would have been fine, I think. I really do. So, yeah, Trippier, he's one that I think he's going to miss out. I know Newcastle have had a lot of injury problems. I know our fullbacks aren't very good, but I just think there's a few ahead of him. And I think because we now seem to have a few centre-backs like Gomez and Konsa that can play at fullback positions, I think that they'll take more centre-backs and just kind of let them play where needed. So Trippier just misses out for me. Ward-Prowse, I don't think he'll go, to be honest. He's never really been in favour for Southgate. I think he'll go. He won't go, sorry. Kyle Walker, he'll be on the plane. He's still really England's best right back just because obviously his ability's there, but I do think if Reece James wasn't constantly injured, he would be ahead of him at the right back position. But yeah, Walker will go, and we'll cover Reece James. I think he should make the squad despite injury issues, based on defensive quality and all-round ability really as a right back. I think only Kyle Walker's ahead of him at the moment, and it's probably tight between them. Obviously Kyle Walker over his Premier League career has been brilliant, but he's coming to the end of that now, it feels, and Reece James should be England's right back as long as he can keep fit after Kyle Walker retires. Now, not too many names left here. Ben White, for me, should make the squad. He's not gonna because he fell out with Steve Holland, but this season Ben White has been England's best right back. I'll say it, I'll go for it because I think it's true. I think the quality he shows, he always arrives at the right time in attack. Arsenal, the least goal conceded this season, and I know a lot of people will say that's because of Saliba and Gabriel, but Ben White is a massive part of that. Very strong defensive fullback. He was a centre-back before that. He's played defensive mid. He knows how to defend, and he's very good at right back. I really do think it's a shame that he's not going to be able to feature because of the little falling out. But yeah, Willock doesn't have a chance for me. So how many have we got? 7 guaranteed starters, 7 100% on the plane, so 14, and there's another 11 that should make the squad. So we've got 25 players here, and there's only one spot left. However, I think I need to take someone out as well. So midfield, I don't think Trent is ahead of a lot of midfielders. Yes, he's played a friendly against Malta, and there was another, was it North Macedonia? But I think if you're not going to trust a player in the big games, there's not much point taking him there, because he's not the greatest right back here. I think there's three ahead of him: Walker, James, and Ben White, just for right back because of the defensive ability. I think are ahead of him. And then taking him as a centre mid, he's not a better centre mid for me than Ward-Prowse. And I think if at Liverpool he hones his craft over the next few years as a centre mid, gets to read the defensive side of the game better, I think he'll be a shoo-in for the next World Cup in midfield. But I really don't think at the moment his midfield career puts him ahead of plenty of midfielders, even some that are missing out. Is he a better midfielder than, I don't know, Harvey Elliott? Harvey Elliott's just won Young Player of the Year playing in midfield for Liverpool. I know he's played on the wing a bit as well, but mainly in midfield. I don't think Trent's a better midfielder than Elliott. He's not going to be a great defensive midfielder, but he's not going to get ahead of any of the attacking players. He's not going to get anywhere near Bellingham. So for that reason, I think he misses out, and Liverpool fans are going to crucify me. I'm sure a lot of football fans will crucify me. And the sad thing is, his just pure abilities, pure talent, Alexander-Arnold, is there. He's one of the best. He's probably the best English passer of a ball since the days of David Beckham, Paul Scholes, Gerrard, since those players who you'll see are all midfielders. But that's the problem. They had years playing in midfield. Trent doesn't get into the midfield of his club. They still play him at right back. I think they might invest in a right back so they can make him make that shift. But until he gets a year under his belt in midfield performing well, you can't trust him in the England side to do it. So yeah, just misses out. That's the end of the Trent debate for me, but feel free to let me know why you think he should go in the comments, or if you agree with me. That means I'm taking one more midfielder. It's between Wharton and Mainu, and whilst I do think Mainu has brilliant ability, I think he misses out, and I know it's not going to happen. If either of these two go, it will be Kobbie Mainu. He's stepped into a very, very tough period at Man United where they've got a lot of injuries, and he has done a good job. He's shown a lot of quality. I just think if you've got Declan Rice, who is so progressive with the ball, he's also brilliant defensively, I think you want to put him next to someone who's going to sit. Because Rice won't sit. Rice will see gaps. Rice will bring us forward as a team. And you don't want to limit Bellingham by putting him next to Rice, because then one of them has to sit. And I think if someone had to sit at the base of our midfield in front of the defenders, out of these two, I'd choose Wharton based on what he's done since that January transfer at Palace. You can see the form Palace have had recently, and they've been so much better at winning the ball, keeping the ball, and I think a big part of that is down to him. And I know he's such a young player and he's very new to the Premier League. He's been there for 6 months, but well, not even 6 months, but you know, he has been very, very solid for them. He's been one of, for me, there's probably someone else, but for me at the moment, off the top of my head, he is the January signing of the season. There's probably an obvious player who's improved their team, but from what I can remember, it wasn't a very busy January for many sides, and Wharton has stood out as a great, great signing. So I'm taking Wharton, which means that Chilwell, I think, misses out. I think if Shaw and Chilwell are both fit, Shaw will be favoured. But I'm not sure I'm convinced by what I've seen of Chilwell. Cucurella is playing left back at the moment for Chelsea and doing a brilliant job there. So yeah, I'm going to go for that. And James Garner is the last player. And the reason I've left him till last is because his face has been staring at me this whole time, but I just could not put my finger on what his name was. For some reason it had escaped me. But yeah, James Garner, I don't think he's got a chance. I really don't think he will make it in this squad. And yeah, that is, at the moment, my 26, I believe I've got. However, there were a couple more names. As you can see, I've got Pickford, I've got Ramsdale, somewhere in there. But we need 3 goalkeepers, and the other that I'm surprised isn't on this list, maybe it was made a bit earlier. The other midfielder has to be, for me, Dean Henderson. I know it's another Palace player, but again, they've been in very good form recently. I think he's been brilliant at shot stopping recently, but you know, his distribution's better than the likes of a Pope. I mean, I don't know if anyone saw the highlights at the weekend, but that long throw he did all the way up the pitch to one of the attacking players for their 4th or 5th goal. Sorry, I can't remember exactly which one it was, but it was just brilliant, and it literally created a goal. And it's where and Mateta did a nice little bit of link-up play, but that all started from Henderson and some great distribution. And I think Dean Henderson should be in this squad, and it might be a bit of a shot in the dark, but I think there's a chance he might go. So again, he's not going to play, so I'm not sure it matters massively who that 3rd goalkeeper is, because if Pickford doesn't play, I'm sure Ramsdale will. Pickford will start, but it's just more for injury. But yeah, I think Henderson should be 3rd for me. Defensively, we've got Stones as a starter. I think that's true. Maguire, I think, will definitely go. So that's 2 centre-backs. And then we've got Branthwaite, Mark Guehi, Tamori. So that's 5 centre-backs. Joe Gomez and Konza, you can count as centre-backs, but they're versatile. Luke Shaw, Ben White, Reece James. Yeah, I think Shaw goes just because of him being a quality left back that is the only one with caps really other than Chilwell. I think he goes out of the 2. Midfield is fine as well. Bellingham, I'll count Foden in there. I'll count all the attacking players. So Bellingham, Foden, Kane, Rice, Saka, all obviously starting. Bowen and Gordon deserve it as wingers. Palmer, brilliant season. Gallagher will be there as well. He's had a good season. Watkins has to go. Eze, maybe a bit of a shot in the dark, that one, but I think he deserves it. I think he's been very good. Maddison maybe could be one that just misses out, but I think he will just about make it. And then we look at that's Wharton as the last player. So yeah, I think that's a pretty solid midfield. The one player I'd put in, and if I had a list of how many defenders and all that I had, then I'd make the decision. But the one player I think deserves to start is a left back, and I know, maybe not start, but go. I think he should go. And I know he hasn't played for us before, but, and again, maybe I'm just going a bit mental on Crystal Palace, but Tyrick Mitchell, I think, has had a very good season. I think he's an honourable mention that hasn't made this list. For me, he'd make the squad. For Southgate, I think it's too early, or maybe just misses out, but definitely too early. I think Mitchell soon will go, especially considering I think left back is England's weakest position. We just don't really have a quality left back, especially not one that's ever fit. So yeah, Tyrick Mitchell will be in for me, maybe ahead of maybe Joe Gomez or Konza, one of those. But yeah, that's my England squad anyway. So let me know what you think down below. Is it harsh that the likes of Colwill, Grealish, Rashford, Pope, Solanke, Sterling, Trippier or Trent, Maina, who that everyone in just misses out. It's probably quite harsh on, other than maybe Jack Butland, just because he's never really featured for England recently. But yeah, let me know what you think down below. I know this has been a long video of me just blabbering on, but make sure to like and subscribe. Let me know your squads down below, and anyone you think should be in there, or you think maybe I've had a bit of a shot in the dark but you agree with it. Hopefully the England squad is impressive anyway, and just players get some recognition that they deserve. So I look forward to the announcement tomorrow, and I'll catch you next time.